Welcome to the Midday Repartee. I am Rotten Glory, joined today by Scotland's best shit superhero and CG's best shit artist, Captain Fuckhead.
Fucking nailed it again. That's
Again, I think I
twice
got
in a
it.
row. Yeah.
I think it's in
Got it.
there. I think I dreamt about it like over the weekend. So it's just like it's part of my psyche now.
Well, if you ever saw the first drawing of Captain Fuckhead that was ever done, you will dream about it.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Rough.
Rough. Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going
Yeah.
around.
There's too much blood in my alcohol system, I think.
Yeah, dude, you gotta, once you've established that balance, you have to maintain it.
Yep.
You have to maintain it, which is what, it's way too early, but I'm doing it anyway.
Oh, I'm not yet. I'm holding off until later on tonight. 10 o'clock. I've got Tesco. Tesco, you don't even know what Tesco is. Yeah, Tesco is a big supermarket chain in the UK. They bring in the food and alcohol later.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I've worked from home for a lot of years, so I kind of, over time, you just kind of let go of all rules. So it doesn't matter. When I want to drink, I drink. When I want to work, I work. I don't really. There's no days. Just don't mean anything. They haven't for a long time. So during the it was like nothing changed for me during the shutdown. It just felt like complete normalcy.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of people are figuring that out now, without having the 9 to 5 iron rod shoved up your arse for a few weeks. People are figuring out that, you know what, life is it's not that bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's not, it's not for everybody. It's funny because a lot of the work I do is with, it's for a publication. They do a series of newspapers in Utah for all the different regions. And so a lot of we do newsletters for the cities. And, some of them throughout all this, there are a lot of people working from home. They, nothing much changed. They got their content in. But then there are a few cities where it's like, we're getting stuff uploaded to us at the last second at like 3 a.m.
Oh, God.
I'm like, oh, this is someone who they don't know how to manage their time when it's not being like watched over in an office. So it's been pretty funny to watch that.
Yeah. There are definitely people. I've got a few friends who are losing the plot. I've got one who works for the NHS. Who inevitably with a company or a business or a thing, whatever it is, entity like the NHS, they're always playing catch up for paperwork and all that kind of shit. So because she can't go to the office now, she's doing it all from home. But she's literally working. Get up, eat, work, eat, go sleep.
Yeah.
Because she can, because there's no boundary there anymore, and she's losing her mind. Like, I need to go over and just get her out of the house for a little while.
Yeah, man, it's definitely, some people just can't adjust to it. They kind of need the structure. And people who work for cities, from what I've been told, a lot of time spent in the city office is just people figuring out ways to waste time, to not do work. So you get them at home, and it's like that becomes real easy to just not do the work. So yeah, it's been kind of funny.
So what we got today?
Well, today, I kind of there's all this stuff going on with Sean Gordon Murphy. You pointed out that whenever he comes up, it tends to be your turn to host.
Sean Gordon Murphy. I nailed it.
But it's not.
It right.
He's part of this conversation, but the bigger idea here is that you have. Let's just take comic books. You have an industry where these companies have been very accustomed to really having a lockdown on their creative talent, where they're very completely reliant on them, and. As we move into this internet age where there's options for creators to make money on their own, to connect with the fans in unprecedented ways, I feel like these companies are actually really fearful about that. And why are SJWs given so much sway? Uh, I think there's a real motivation there because they want creators to be fearful of connecting with fans, of actually presenting themselves in an authentic way, because that, it's pretty hard to keep someone under lock and key if they have the freedom to go out and do their own thing and be successful, maybe even make more money. And you've got the Ethan Van Skyvers, out there showing that it can be done, that you can make more money than even working for the biggest publisher, right? Doing your own
Yep.
thing. So how do you convince a creator not to try that, not to do it? Well, you got to create enough fear. You got to make it undesirable, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I think there's a lot of publishers in general, not just talking about comics. I think there's a lot of publishers running scared at the moment.
Yeah,
Because
they're. I mean, how it's got to be horrifying to think, oh my, look, these people could just leave,
Yep.
and we need that. We can't do anything without the talent. Especially it's so much. As an artist in comics, we're talking the amount of work it takes to put out a monthly product for these companies is insane.
Mm-hmm.
The dedication to that craft, and then the amount of hours you have to spend chained to a table to fulfill that model, it's insanity. So they're looking at the creators have got to be like, wow, look at what some of these guys are doing over here with their own. They can do 2-3 books a year, make more money doing it, have total freedom. That's looking very appealing. But what's not appealing is getting dogpiled by SJW, being painted as a racist or a Nazi, whatever the hell it may be. So I think that these companies are really encouraging this behavior, so the creators have to balance that. They have to be like, well, do I really want to do that? It's kind of scary because these people could ruin me. They could publicly shame me to a point where it causes me harm. So I don't know. I just feel like this is it's an encouraged tactic, and it's an attempt by companies to kind of keep the creative talent in fear of breaking out on their own. And it seems to be working.
This has been the art world and the publishing industry for got to be well over a decade, a century now, though.
You think before the internet, the creator really had? I mean, of course, you could always have done it, but it feels like in this time we live in right now, specifically, with everything, this is all developed. So the technology has just become so accessible that they must be really scared of it now. That talent could just walk away at any time.
Oh.
Gargoyle.
Hale, how you doing?
How you doing, Al?
Doing good.
Doing good, yeah, Captain. Captain was about to say something.
Yeah.
I think this kind of eternal struggle, because if you think the how do I put this? Like I don't know how to put it. The kind of the everybody's hope or wish of an artist is that always starving, never got enough food, live in a shithole, but they paint because that's what they have to do. And if you look at old not old painters, but if you look at the American what happened in America with art, because that exploded in the 50s and the 60s. That was always that way. The painters were always hard up. They didn't have any money. They were drunks. They spent all their money on alcohol, women, and paint. They
Right.
lived in shitholes. And people, you needed to have a benefactor or a gallery backing you to make it. And that's exactly the same that happens now in comics. Like, you have to have that benefactor who's willing to put food on your table, buy you the time to do the thing that you want to do, but it's just in this instance you have to do the thing that they want to do.
Right.
And I think it's been coming for a long time. that creators are going to at some point put their foot down and just go, I don't need to give you my money or my time. Like we've spoke before, like I think Ethan spoke of this as well. Time is the greatest wealth any man possesses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you decide that you don't need to give somebody your time, or your time is better suited investing in yourself, then that's what you must do. And I think it's taking a long time for creators to figure out that they can do that now with the technology that we have. The internet is a wonderful, wonderful place that allows things like that to happen. And of course, you have companies like Mixam now, who are, I say, ComicsGate standard printer. Look at the work that they're knocking out. We can ring them up. I can ring them up now. Well, not now because they're closed, but I could ring them up tomorrow morning and ask for a quote. I could email them and ask for a quote.
Of course.
I've got some shit from them down in my little thing down here. It's all right there in front of you if you are willing to take the leap. And I would say that if you are strong enough, no, don't like that term. If you are willing to take that leap, if you make the decision to make that leap, regardless of what any SJW says to you, you just get on with it. Like, don't be scared of these cunts. I was gonna say the C word. Fuck it, I'm British. I can. Don't be scared of these cunts. Don't be scared.
No, I would agree. I mean. And that's the reason I feel like you almost have to bring up what's going on with Sean Gordon Murphy right now, because I don't think that he wants to stop working for the larger, I think he still wants to be in mainstream, but he also wants to do his own projects and succeed at that. But he's trying to toe the line all the time, and he can't. In order to really succeed on your own without, some huge company pushing your product, you have to push your product. You have to become that salesman for yourself and connect with your audience. But how can a man connect with his audience when every single word out of his mouth can create a shitstorm of problems for him?
Then you work with somebody who has a better mouthpiece.
Right.
I mean, I don't like talking about this a lot. I have Asperger's, so a lot of things I say don't come out right. A lot of the things I say piss a lot of people off.
Yeah, right.
So, but, it's either you got to take it what it is, or you slap me in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's I just find it's very deliberate. It's a kind of strategy to try and keep creatives in fear of going out on their own. People have to be made examples of, so they second guess, like, wow, maybe I'm better just hiding behind this corporate shield and taking my paycheck and being quiet, not talking to fans, not connecting in that way. Just put my head down, go to work, and maybe then I can live in peace, right? And it feels like, to a large extent, that is effective. It does seem to work, because who wants to deal with the kind of backlash Sean Gordon Murphy has gotten over a completely reasonable statement?
At this point, he's going to deal with backlash regardless in DC. Everybody's going to be like, "Oh, you're a traitor, anyways. Remember that time you were thinking about?"
Yeah.
You're possibly doing, and all he's gonna do is they're gonna expect him to bend right over and spread his butt cheeks right out. So at this point, SGM is going to have to make a choice. Either he's going to have to take it in the ass till that ends, and he took it in the ass for nothing, or he just goes on his own and figures out what to do on his own without anybody from CG helping him, or people who are forgiving, fans enough who are forgiving to be like, "Hey, I'm a fan of your comic book. I would like you to succeed. I can help you." But I don't know who's going to be willing to do that for him.
Yeah, it's it's very complicated, and Razmaz makes a good point. It's like, it's not even you can't just stay silent anymore either. They want either you're coming out in line with the mainstream messaging, or you're going to take a beating. So it's almost like he was forced to make a comment one way or the other. I'm sure he pondered that statement. He was like, there's no way this could piss off anyone. It's all completely rational, completely reasonable statement. And no, he got taken to task with it just because he didn't take the hard line. I'm going to support this group no matter what they're doing that I feel is wrong. Like,
that's funny you should say they expect silence from him. That's a new tagline with the new riots going on. Mm-hmm. Silence equals consent.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So they're forcing, you have to choose, it's lines drawn in the sand. You have to choose a side, and it's like, this is just a way to control. It's a way to control creatives. I don't know what, I guess people are just, like you said, you're going to have to make that choice. You're going to have to choose a side.
Hey, Rod, I'm sending you this link. This is some crazy looking shit.
We got Testify waiting in the wings, probably to tell me I'm a lunatic for streaming to such a small number of people. I'm a madman. I don't know. Maybe he actually wants to talk about the topic at hand. I never know.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, Rod, check your Twitter DMs. I just sent you this Kickstarter link. You got to see this.
Okay. Fox Force ongoing series.
It looks like an Antifa team book.
Oh no.
Oh, come on, get this up. You can't do that.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Like I said, you got to share this shit. That's why I was laughing. Sorry.
Let's do this. Okay. So, Fox Force ongoing series, self-published comic book ongoing series taking place in a dystopian European landscape 5 years after a global event enhances hundreds. Okay. What is the driving force here?
You got a superpowered mime. Isn't that a Pokemon?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then you got Iron Man wearing one of those British Force hats, right? Soldier hat.
Right. Is it... I want to read some... Okay. The governments of most major countries in the region have been suspended. A private company, Maddox Burnham, attempted to step in to quell the masses and failed miserably. Now with the area cordoned off from the rest of the global landscape, enhanced criminals have made it to their safe haven. Our ragtag group of heroes must come together to witness the death knell of the land they call home. What? Okay. Wait, I don't get it. Is the enhanced criminals are the heroes, or that's not
ragtag
clear.
Group of misfits come out of nowhere?
Interesting.
So what did these superpowered villains do, and what do these quote-unquote heroes can do better than the police, since they shut down all the police, and now a group of people who are willing to do superpowers to enforce quote-unquote type of laws.
Right. And of course it's using the mask from V for Vendetta.
Yep. Using Guy Fawkes.
Yep.
And everybody started using that after the V for Vendetta movie. They don't really know completely who Guy Fawkes is.
National hero.
Or Guy Fawkes. Okay, national hero. Yeah, but, during the fucking early 2000s and 90s, we were all wearing Che Guevara shirts. Nobody knew who the fuck that guy was.
Right. Yeah, interesting. You know, I don't.
I like Iron Man in the bearskin.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Was that what that was?
Yeah,
I was
they
trying
call
to
it a
figure that out.
bearskin. Yeah.
yeah, I don't. You know, I don't know. It's doesn't seem as blatant as it could be, but yeah,
It just looks like the opposite contrast to Miller's Mega Force.
right. Yeah,
Or
I don't know.
if you ever read Box Day's Alt Hero, kind of reminds me of Alt Hero.
I love how, you know how you know this is SJW because it says every dollar we make will go back into bringing you new, unique, exciting comic stories. Really? Nobody's making it. You don't have a goal to make profit for anybody on your team. Every dollar's going back in.
Well,
Like,
if they
or is that
actually
just is
deliver.
that a clever way of saying like trying to mask the fact that they're trying to make a profit? I don't know. I just don't like. Just make a profit. You should be proud of making a profit. There's nothing wrong with it. But it has to be like everything has to feel like a charity. Everything has to be profit has to be masked. Like there's something wrong with making money on something. Drives me
Yeah,
insane.
and you're going off a symbol that was already used off of a really famous, iconic comic book, and it's just going to confuse people.
I'm
Yeah,
already
agreed. 656 Comics is here. They have a great project out. Um, yeah, it's I don't know what to make. I just feel like I don't know what the answer is. It's such an exciting time to be here as a creative because you have that opportunity to connect with people, to really form a relationship with the fan base. But that seems to be, they're trying to block that at every turn, make it really tough to do it, make it almost, just make it really frightening to put yourself out there in that way. And it's so important. Of course, we get this incredible tool to connect, and of course, it's going to be. They're going to put that on it. You know, they're going to make it into something that everyone has to be afraid of now. Um, just being yourself, just connecting, being authentic, having a YouTube because you have to have these things. You have to be on YouTube. You have to, be in social media. But if every single word you say is a possible disaster in the waiting. And it's not just some SJWs like individuals. The media, mainstream media, is also behind, and they're going to support these narratives. So it's not just like, oh, some Twitter people got pissed at me. Like, it's bigger than that. I mean, didn't this Sean Gordon Murphy thing is like a worldwide shitstorm that he's having to take on because it's printed. It's spread through these networks of news sites and it's made into a story. And it's like, is that worth it for him? Is it worth it for him to even say anything?
Well,
It's really
he doesn't
frustrating,
owe anybody anything, to be honest. If he's established, he can do what he wants, like Todd McFarlane.
right?
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. Todd is, he's really smart about. He seems to have sidestepped this nonsense. I'm not really sure how he's been capable of doing that.
he's a
Maybe it's because
hustler.
he's
That's it.
absolutely a hustler.
Plain and simple. He knew how to hustle people in the comic book industry. A lot of comic book shop owners were a little bit slower than Todd was, and he just knew how to talk fast. He's a car salesman.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. He doesn't seem to have to take the shit, and maybe it's because he already is on. Maybe he supports. Maybe he's on that side of the fence, But I don't really. It doesn't seem like he's vocal about any of that. He focuses on the product and what he's doing. It seems like he's able to sidestep it.
He's a little virtual signaler. I've seen his Instagram. He drew a George Floyd Spawn, which was cringeworthy.
Ooh. Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I don't really, I don't follow him that closely, but I mean, it does seem like he leans that
I
way, which is almost if you're going to be in mainstream at this point, how can you not? You have to. Or you would have been canceled or fired or ruined in some way by now. So I just assume anyone that's succeeding in mainstream on a big level is probably, if not towing that line really carefully, probably supporting and leaning that way already. So
yeah. The thing with McFarlane, if he hasn't been canceled, then they're not going to cancel him now.
No.
right,
He's too big. He's already taken the comic industry apart once. Okay, if you go after him again, he'll just do the same thing. You know what I mean? He's not. They won't want to play that game with him.
right.
Yeah, watch this documentary about him. It's on YouTube. The Devil You Know.
Okay.
You'll just be like, damn, Todd McFarlane's a dirty fucking motherfucker. I can never look at him the same. Trust me. I respect him for what he did in the business. He has a lot in my childhood memory, but as an adult and being an adult, I'm like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, back in the day, I was I was a bit of a super fan, I guess. It was during the time when they were doing like the Spawn Dark Ages, and I got really into Spawn, and I was I was creating fan websites, and I was actually like creating comics with people, like kind of spin-off Spawn stuff, and it was it was a lot of fun, and I had a chance to meet him at San Diego, and it was like I don't think he liked what I was doing, or he didn't. I'm not sure, but he was. Yeah, he was kind of a dick. I'm not gonna lie, he was a bit of a dick. just to get a photo with the guy was. It felt like he didn't want to engage me at all, as a fan, and that was kind of weird. That was my first experience with like, okay, well, I support what you do. I promote it out like a crazy. And I guess I didn't expect to like him to like, hey, let's go grab a beer, but for him to like not even want to take a photo or something, it felt kind of strange.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, come on, dude. You're not going to take a photo of a dude who comes in and spends probably $50 on your comics.
Yeah, I was investing a lot of money in the comics and putting a lot of hours in, and the team on Dark Ages was actually really cool. Nat Jones was the artist on that, and Steve Niles was the writer.
Ooh, I'm a fan of Steve Niles.
Yeah, and Nat Jones actually he put together this huge binder of all the scripts that he got from Steve. I still have that shit. It was this fat ass binder with all the original like scripts in it.
You worked on
they were really support. They were like really happy to have a fan like that was really supporting what they were doing. But I don't know. I guess Todd. I'm sure when you're at that level, you always everybody's trying to ride your coattails, right? So it's probably annoying to some extent, but it was still odd.
I have a couple copies of Medieval Spawn and Witchblade. You remember
nice.
that series, and then the little series. That was good drawings. Not really that great of a story, but it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it was a cool little segment where there was like R2-D2, the Green Lantern ring, and all this fucking shit in his treasure room. It was kind of silly looking, but it's kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah. I didn't know about this story where Todd approached Frege to make his Purple Gorilla character, I guess as a toy.
He tells that story all the time.
I guess I do watch Frege's show quite a bit, but I'm not able to all the time.
Yeah, basically what he's saying is, Frege, Todd promised Frege that purple gorilla was going to be one of the action figure, but it required the whole Black Flag set. And basically, Todd gave him some broken promises and just took his purple gorilla and made the Cygor action figure.
Right.
That was and claimed that was his own. That was never a Spawn character.
Right.
But I'm not going to speak for the rest of that story. Let Frege listen to Frege's story about that again. I don't want to mess it up.
You know, I'm sure the shit goes down constantly. You know, ideas are just constantly stolen. It's never ending. I mean, even it seems like in Hollywood, there's always like there's like a real movie about something, a theme kind of movie, and then there's like the cheap knockoff that they try to get out first. You know, that feeds off of the hype for the other one. It's like it's just that's always going on. You can't avoid it. The thing is without the context of the character in the comic book and something that people have connected to, the toy doesn't really mean much, does it? You know. So
I don't know.
I don't know. Does he really win in that scenario? Not sure.
I don't know. I forgot what series the Cygor was in. I think it was the first series of Spawn figures. And then it just disappeared.
Yeah. So shit, guys. This is a pretty low energy show, I guess.
Sorry, I've been completely distracted. I've just been trying to get my tablet working, and I've got like this. I've got a tab mate with clip. And it was just not working, which meant that all my tools were fucked and I was having to figure out things manually again, and that was doing my head in, but it's fixed now.
Nice.
This ain't F Monday. I can't make fun of you yet.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard from Ink yet. I don't know if he's doing F Monday today.
He said it was on Twitter that he might.
Cool. Yeah, you know, I have this very limited windows where I can hit Twitter and try to keep up on some things, but I miss a lot that goes on there, probably intentionally.
I was going to say that is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm down to, you know, if F Monday happens, I'm totally up for it. Lucius and I are definitely going to do. We're trying this pre-show thing for F Monday. I think he's calling it Monday Fluffer. I'm not sure. Monday Night Fluffer. So it's just going to be like a really chill, just back and forth conversation. And Lucius is actually really good at interviewing and keeping a conversation going. So I think it could be I'd like to see him do like a one-on-one format and just see what he can do with that, because you don't get that all that often in CG anymore, where it's just kind of one-on-one interview. There's usually a larger group of people involved.
What?
Except when it's Captain Fuckhead.
There we go.
No, you do that. You have a co-host though, yeah?
Yeah, but I have a co-host because Wally is an encyclopedia of knowledge on comics, you see. So that's why Wally helps me out, because again, everybody knows I'm new to comics. So that's why we have Wally is there. Plus, he's a friend of mine. He's a good friend, and he comes in and helps me out. And when there's something I don't know, there's a question that I should be asking. He jumps in and saves me because I'm a moron.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he doesn't. It does feel like it's more or less just you interviewing the other person. It is, but he jumps in when needed, as you say.
He's a hero. That's what he is.
He's a goddamn hero. What's
He's
up?
A hero like Leroy.
How you doing, Dave?
Hello, Dave.
All right, how's it going?
Hey, old Dave.
Going well.
Sorry, I just thought I'd jump on and pop my live stream cherry for you guys.
Is this your first time?
Yeah.
Aww.
Damn. Well, it's always good to. You just got to dive in, man. That's the only way to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. David's one of ours over here. Whether that's a positive thing or not, I don't know. But he's definitely,
bit of both, positive and negative.
He's in that little CG UK group with us as well.
Very nice.
Hail.
So what, are you an artist? You a writer?
At the moment, I'm just a fan. At the moment,
Okay.
but I am starting to write my own comic. So
Cool.
hopefully, at some point, I'll
Nice,
get
man.
more involved. But yeah, I found CG about 2.5 months, 3 months ago, roughly.
Okay, so that's actually really, that's interesting to me. You know, I think some of us have been in it for years at this point. So I'd be very curious to find out what you think of it, having been in a shorter amount of time. Like, what are your impressions of CG as a whole?
To be honest, it was interesting because when I found it, CG, that is, the first thing that attracted me was Ethan. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's obviously the biggest character there. I saw a post of his and I started looking through. And the first thing was actually to do with all the hatred that was going his way from all these SJWs. And I was like, why is he getting all this shit? He seems like a good bloke. So I started looking into it. And then the more you look into it, the more you find all these other creators, Tug, for example, and you just see all the shit they're putting up with. But they're creating good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's down to politics, all this SJW bollocks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I'm happy to, it's nice to hear that people are still being drawn into it. Because it's really hard. Like I said, if you've been in it for a long time, we're kind of so far inside of the thing that it's hard to step back and see the whole big picture of what it looks like to somebody new to it. And I'm just, it's good to hear that there's a strong appeal to it. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I mean. Like, by finding ComicsGate, it's inspired me to get more involved in actually trying to become a creator myself. So, on that respect, it's doing its job. It's trying to spread comics.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
were you someone who was buying comics before?
Yeah,
have you been buying
been about 10 years now. I've been buying comics.
Okay.
Avid Marvel reader, I'll be honest. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't still buying some Marvel comics. I know, boo, hiss, all that crap. But it's nice to have somewhere which isn't related to the whole, you have to buy 30 different issues to know the full story of a Marvel comic, where I can just, like, Merry Boys, for example, pick that up, about a week and a bit ago, something like that. And it's fantastic stuff. And it's nice just to have a story where I can read it and not have to worry about forking out 40, 50 quid to get the whole story.
Right. Yeah, and now it's like, as I understand it, Marvel has really fumbled the so-called comeback. They really haven't put out anything of note. It seemed like a big opportunity, but it doesn't feel like they're taking it too serious.
No, not at all. Unfortunately, they started messing up as soon as the MCU started getting big. That's the whole mess up point. They didn't relate it back to the comics. That was the point. They could have got hundreds of thousands more readers on board, but they
don't
fucked it
care.
up.
They don't give a shit.
No.
That's the problem. They really just do not give a fuck about the comic industry.
That's the impression I get. I mean, now I don't get that impression. DC still seems like an entity that is fighting, that cares, about whether their comics succeed. Just the fact that they've dropped Diamond, that they're trying something new. They're trying to get books into people's hands. I mean, it feels like there's at least some kind of passion there, or some kind of care. Whether you agree with what they're doing with Diamond or whatever, it still feels like, well, that took effort. That took somebody at the helm, like, making a big decision that seems to indicate they care where it's going. So, I mean, that's cool. What do you guys think about the DC thing? DC just leaving Diamond.
Gold. Diamond should have been dropped and lost a long time ago.
Yeah, monopolies don't work. They just don't. It's too much power in the market. It will destroy the market eventually.
That's
Yeah.
when I look at, again, new to comics, but when I look at the history of comics and I look at what's been going on over the past 20 years, Diamond are the reason for its downfall, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little collusion there between the publishers and Diamond to try and. I feel like it's been a fairly abusive relationship with retailers. You know, the
Yep.
LCSs, just too many gimmicks, too much. You have to buy this many books to get a variant cover that is what everybody actually wants. Flooding the market with too many books, too many spin-offs. And I feel like that's, of course, that benefits Diamond because the more product they ship, the more money they make. And of course, that benefits the publishers. But it doesn't benefit the comic shops that have all this product that they can't move. So it
Nope.
does feel like Diamond and the publishers took advantage of that situation.
It's the number fudging that drives me up the wall. Like you would never get away with that in any other industry for sales figures. You just couldn't do it.
Right.
You couldn't do it because
Yeah, exactly.
the people selling the books wouldn't stand for it, and the people reading the books wouldn't stand for it. You just could not get away with doing that, and I can't get my head around how the fuck they managed to pull it off. Like, all credit to them. Like, fuck me, you managed to, you really did pull a thing off, but shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's cool to see one of these companies at least like stepping up to the plate and trying to make a change that might actually benefit fans. We'll see how that goes.
I was talking to my local comic shop, where I get all my comics from, about obviously DC's splitting from Diamond, and they were all up for it because their response was, well, every time they've tried to ring Diamond to get any information or help with anything, the people they talk to don't know a single thing about comic books. Like, not a thing.
Right.
They're just glorified telephone operators. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, well, if you've got those kind of people working for you when you're supposed to be in comics distribution, it's never going to work, is it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think your boy Zach brought up an interesting point that, it seems to be that the shops that are really gung-ho supporting Diamond and kind of upset with DC for this move, it seems like they tend to be shops that maybe have gotten really good line of credit with Diamond, maybe allowed to float some of their debt with Diamond. And of course, if you're in that position where you have some debt being floated by a company, you don't want that company to be in danger of collapsing or being unable to carry that debt for you. So I think that some of the lines in the sand are there, and the shop that you talk to probably doesn't have that problem. They probably don't have a debt with Diamond. So for them, it's like, they don't have a vested interest in DC leaving Diamond. So I don't know if Zach's right about that, but it seems like a sound theory to me. Especially these larger shops. I think some of them have accrued quite a large debt
Yeah,
with Diamond.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
I think it could be the difference between the people that run these LCSs is the people that actually run it for business and the people that run it because they're passionate about comics books.
Mm-hmm.
People that actually run it for a business will find a way around to make money, which is what my local comic shop does. They get in there and they will, even during this lockdown that we've had in the UK, which has been real fun, they will go around and ship out the comics. They'll go in, even though they're not supposed to be in there, and get the comic books out to make sure they make that money. And I think that's the difference. It's the entrepreneurship over just the passion for the product.
Yeah. And I've talked about this before, too. I think comic shops, comic book readers are kind of renegades as it is, at least in America, because it's not it's not something you're applauded for as an adult reading comics. It's not people aren't like, oh, I'm impressed. You read comics, huh? Wow, that's sexy. It doesn't really go down that way. So I think people who read comics into their adulthood tend to, we're capable of forming our own thoughts and opinions about things. We don't need everything spoon-fed to us by the media. So if you're a comic shop and you're trying to enforce these really strict rules with the, wearing a mask and sanitizing everything, and like you're super uptight about that, I think you're misreading your customer base. I think comic readers really, not to say that we don't take things seriously when we should, but we also don't believe everything we're told by mainstream. We just don't. So I think, understand that about your customer base, and maybe make the shopping experience for comics not one that is a complete nightmare. So you don't have to go in a hazmat suit, because that's annoying. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Am I just way off base there? Like,
no. Well, my local LCS is 50 miles away. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm fine. I've been buying on the internet for God knows how long. But look, we've got a local shop here. You're only allowed. I say local shop, not a comic shop, just a shop. Little grocers kind of thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know there's no way to describe it to an American. It's a very British shop. Dave will know exactly what I'm talking about. Tiny little grocers / post office / newsagent / that little fucking, local shops for local people. And there you're only allowed 2 in at a time. The people behind the counters are all fucking almost in hazmat suits.
Right.
Pretty fucking close. There's screens being put up over counters so that you can't breathe on anybody. Like I say, 2 people in at a time. I was waiting outside the shop to go in the other day for half an hour. Just because there's an old lady doing pensions and paying bills. Like it is what it is. If you want to go to the comic book shop that badly, if you want to go to the shop that badly because you want a thing, you got to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like if that goes on long enough, if the experience is that kind of tedious, you're creating that opportunity for people to form other habits, shopping habits, where they're just going to be like, well, I've been getting them online now. I've gotten used to doing that. It comes right to my door. I don't really feel a need to go in there anymore. So I just, if you're in an area, obviously, if you have a business in an area that requires you to do certain things, obviously you have to follow those rules. But if you have a choice,
is somebody chainsawing?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Yeah, that's coming from my neighbor. They're doing their fence. And they're taking out the hedges, so they're like chainsawing it all out. It's really got my window shut, but still.
I've gotten really lucky on Mondays. We have a crew that comes and does stuff in the yard every Monday, and I've gotten 5. This is the 6th week, and so far they haven't come during the show yet. But if they ever do, it's just show over instantly, because it is loud. Just nonstop leaf blower. What the fuck, man? Leaf blowers. Do they allow those things to go like all day, every day, Captain Fuckhead, where you are?
We don't tend to use leaf blowers really here. We use a rake.
Yeah, that would be nice. Actual rake. Do some fucking work. Yeah, dude, leaf blowers every day of the week. There's somebody doing leaf blowing somewhere in this neighborhood. It's an everyday annoyance. I can't believe they don't. If you're going to allow them, at least restrict it to like one day a week or something.
Remember that in the UK we actually have seasons. It's not like living in California where it only rains 5 days in the entire year. But even in the what do we call it? We call it the autumn. But even in the fall, when the leaves fall, like nobody gives a shit because it's organic matter. It'll rot and it'll go away on its own. You don't have to go and move it. Just leave it.
No, they're
Yeah.
literally left on the floor for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Like, and then you end up
Yeah.
walking on wet leaves all the way to work. It's terrible.
That sounds
You guys
awfully
got,
reasonable. We can't do that here.
HOA?
That would be reasonable. What's that, Gargoyle?
You guys have HOA where you're at?
Oh, homeowners associations?
Yeah,
No.
or a type of.
No,
No, I was asking
don't,
the Scott.
we don't do
Oh,
that
okay.
sort of shit. No.
Yeah, that's probably another reason why some neighborhoods they got HOA bullshit.
No, we don't do that sort of stuff. We do. You do get the odd gated community, that kind of thing, where you then, because it's gated, you're paying for. But then again, gated communities, they're quite rare in the UK, but they pay other people to do it all, don't they? So it doesn't really make much difference.
Yeah. We got code authority here. You guys ever fucking hear of code authority?
No.
I haven't heard of that.
It's a fucking police force. That's the HOA. If you don't have HOA. When I first seen them came to my house, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys? And I knew they were specifically called for me because my neighbor's a cop. And he's always bitching about my yard.
It's insanity, man.
It's your spot.
They tell
do
you
what you want.
Yeah, it's ludicrous. They tell you you own your house, you own your property, but you can't do anything you want to do with it. If you wanted to step outside the box even a little and put something interesting, some piece of art, or do something cool with your anything, you're not going to be allowed to do it. What the fuck good is owning something if you have no control over it?
Welcome to the
What is the
United
point?
States of America, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the land of the free, folks. You can't do shit. Like,
That's
you're
the
free to
greatest-
choose. You're free to
That's the
choose which
greatest
kind of
fucking lie
toothpaste
I've
you
ever
want to
heard.
use.
Sorry, Rob. Sorry, I'll just say that's the
No,
greatest
go ahead.
That's the greatest lie I've ever heard. The American
Yeah.
for free. Like, it's no, my arse.
Yeah, it's
Land
really.
of the mostly free.
Land of
I
the
don't
people
even-
brainwashed since you were in kindergarten. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. You know,
I
it's
was
the
watching
idea. The only thing you could really say about it is that Americans believe so hard that they are free that when it is legitimately threatened in some way, there's usually a reaction. But I would say in the last 10, 15 years, even that has diminished to almost nothing, because you just get publicly shamed if you try to stand up for any kind of actual freedom. You know, it's usually a shaming. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that ties
you know,
into the topic. It ties into the topic of what we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, if you
Silent-
don't say the
You
right
want to go
thing.
to you want to go to prison for taking down a poster here.
God.
Happened to a Mr. Brocker Otto, whoever that fucking guy's name was.
Oh, really?
Remember that guy in North Korea or whatever fucking Korea
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah,
went
yeah.
to? He took down a poster and the fucking cops took him, and then you seen that video of him fucking crying his fucking eyes out in the courtroom looking like a fucking sobbing idiot. And then he
Right.
finally comes back and he's dead. For a poster.
Poster. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's I think the most powerful. It's not really to me like a quote unquote like fascist police force or something. It's when you turn the masses into a police force. If you do enough brainwashing and turn the masses into a self-policing organism where they're going to shame or go after anyone who steps outside the narrative. You know, that's where it gets really dangerous to me. That's where the real power of that is.
That's been the plan for the last century or so. It's
Yeah.
only just coming to fruition and starting to work now.
I wouldn't even say it's a police force like that. I'd say it's a pack of hyenas. As soon as one gets a little bit of blood out of you, you post one tweet, you do one thing, you say one, you think something that isn't correct, then they all close in on you. Every single
and
one.
these are unpaid. You know, you don't have to pay these people. They do it for free. They spend their time doing it for you. You know, there's no need to have some oppressive, crazy force standing over you. You've got your neighbor. They'll do it for them. You know, it's insanity, and we really, I don't know what the answer to that is. It's a real problem across whether we're talking creativity, something like comic books, whether we're just talking about living your life in general. This shit has gotten so out of hand. You can't just be an authentic human anymore. You have to be this automaton that spews the right thing at all times, or you run the risk of being publicly shamed, having your career damaged, your reputation, over nothing. Over nothing. Just as simple as who you may have voted for. You know, wearing a hat could get you canceled.
I can't wait for my Make Career Best Again hat.
That's pretty cool.
I'm wearing that.
Who came up with that?
That was Commie Mark.
He came up with the hat idea?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all him. All him.
That guy's funny.
Yeah.
Hope he doesn't go to Korean jail.
I just hope he does. I'm glad that he didn't do the stretch goal for the delivering it to the North Korean embassy.
Yeah.
Because that would have caused some international incident.
Probably. They probably already have a cardboard cutout of him in a Korean jail, I would imagine.
I would think they probably use it for firing practice.
Oh, man. Yeah,
or if he's
good.
really, really lucky, he'll get pounded by that what's-his-name's sister.
That's exactly where I was about to go as well. Like, she's got this cardboard cutout of him going, "Get me this man."
Sorry, when you said the word pounded, and I got a totally different image in my head there for a second.
Well, he was probably she probably oogles his cutout right there in her office.
Right.
I mean, maybe she has a thing for him. Who knows?
It wouldn't be out
Who
of
doesn't?
the stretch of the imagination, because Commie Mark does have a thing for her.
There we go. There
it is. Nice.
And she's pretty fresh, even though she's greedy. You seen that big piece of toast she's walking around with hanging out of her mouth? But she was pretty stacked. I mean, if Common Mark gets it, good for him.
Yeah, I think we would applaud that. Yeah.
Oh, do you know?
Well,
I met a guy who fucked Mark Hamill's daughter one time.
okay.
I was like, no shit. I smelt his finger. And that's my closest Star Wars nerd moment.
That's as close as I'm ever going to get to Star Wars celebrity, like, yeah. Well, there you go.
As close as I'm ever going to get to actually being a Jedi.
Yep.
I miss Star Wars.
Man. That's funny, dude.
I miss Star Wars.
Oh,
That's
wasn't
what
it?
brought me to
Who did I-
ComicsGate, Fuckers.
Oh, no, that wasn't Hamill. It was somebody posted something. I think it was Nick Cage. Nick Cage's son is like a metalhead or something. I don't know. I get all these images from Twitter. You know, this brief time I'm on Twitter, it's like I'm bombarded with visual information, and it's like sometimes I can't keep track of it. But like, I didn't know that Nick Cage's son was like a hardcore metalhead. You know, walking around like
Bigger.
looking like Marilyn Manson and shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, he can. He's
He can.
Nick Cage's son. And descended to the Coppola family.
God, how incestuous is Hollywood? It's insane, man. It's like now these days, every time I see some new, up and comer, I'm like, who? Okay, they're related to this person. Obviously, it's all fucking. People think you can just show up at Hollywood and have talent and make it. It's like, you really still believe that? You think your dream's gonna come true? No, you gotta be in the right family, or your family has to do, you have to earn your way into that little club. Some way,
You gotta be
somehow.
willing to suck Harvey Weinstein's balls.
Even then, dude, I feel like it's all in the family. I feel like most people try to even hide. You see a lot of them try to hide their family connections by changing their names and doing stuff. They're all connected, man. It's fucking insane. And I like seeing the fact that that whole kind of like obsession with celebrity seems to be losing its power in recent years, for sure.
Well, they keep saying stupid stuff. Like, yes, it's no.
Well, when did they not say stupid stuff? I mean,
I don't know. You go back to when Hollywood was actually Hollywood and stars were actually stars. They were half decent. They kept their mouths shut when they knew that they should, and they only really talked about the films and the art, and that was grand. But now no.
Well,
I feel like they do exactly what they're exactly what they're told to do. I don't think that's ever changed. These people can't do what they want to do.
Who had that Indian lady who accepted the award for him? That that was Grammy show. That was some weird ass shit.
That was pretty renegade, yeah. Yeah, but we saw how his career went. Didn't go so well after a certain point because I think he was like, it became really clear to him that he couldn't be his own man and be this thing. There was no way that was happening. So he made his choice. He left.
Well, he possibly got high with Richard Pryor and took it in the butt by him. You hear about that one?
Yeah, I've heard
That's not a piece of info I had, but now I do. Thank you. Damn it!
It's not just incestuous. It's they're all at it. They're all at it.
Just put a link in the private chat.
Okay.
Quite related to what we're talking about, actually. Hollywood and them cancer.
Better not be porn.
No, it's not, honestly. I wouldn't ruin my debut like that, would I?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Who knows? You
could blow you up.
You could secretly be testify. Join us.
Oh no, that would be awesome.
Who knows? You could be secretly pretending to be American this whole entire time. You probably have a great American accent with infinite variety.
I wouldn't even try and do an American accent. I would fail horribly. I'm too Bristolian for that.
Damn. I almost caught you, Testy. I almost caught you.
But yeah, the link I sent you over got.
I'm checking it out. I'm vetting it slightly.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. It seems I'm curious what he said.
It's tweets going back about 6 years, 2014. They've gone and someone's found a load of tweets of his. So someone's taken the time to go back 6 years worth of tweets to find this stuff.
Just the worst possible things he could be saying.
I mean, some of them not too bad, but others are a bit on the fence. It's like...
My whore dog hasn't joined me in the bed yet. Okay.
Who's this?
I
don't even know who this guy is. Who is he?
He's in DC's Flash. He plays I can't remember his name. The stretchy dude.
Stretchy dude.
Yeah,
stretchy dude.
What's his name? I can't remember his name. I watched the show as well, which is sad. I can't remember his name now. But yeah, he's been fired for these tweets from 6 years ago.
He's fired now for the tweets.
Yeah, instantly. Yeah.
The only thing keeping me from doing mildly racist tweets is the knowledge that Al Sharpton would never stop complaining about me. Yeah.
That's it. Zaid's got it right. Elongated, man. Dibney, yes.
For my ignorance back then, like it was the far distant past.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I mean, to me, it's like, okay, well, there is such a thing as actually like being completely inappropriate, especially if you represent, a company or a show, or you. And he obviously probably didn't represent anything then when he actually made these tweets. But it's like, there's a big difference to me between like that and like Sean Gordon Murphy just posting something completely reasonable. and still getting dogpiled and canceled over it, like, or at least trying to, because he didn't say anything wrong. Nothing. There was nothing racist. It was completely rational. Like, good things good, bad things bad. Let's have more good things, shall we?
It's simple.
Pitchforks and torches and like, oh, you didn't say you were 100% behind Antifa and Black Lives Matter. You're evil.
Exactly.
It's like that. That to me is bullshit. Now this guy, they probably were like pretty colorful tweets, and it's like, should someone have to deal with getting fired over that, especially when it could have been a joke or in context of something else? Probably not. But there is a difference.
It's control. It's basically simple. Remember when that porn star was bullied into suicide over internet bullies? It's to drive somebody down to non-existence. It's the success of getting somebody to hurt themselves to a point where they either have nothing or they just kill themselves. That's
to what
where
end? Like, what? Just for the joy of that happening, or for a bigger?
Yes, because people are cruel. It's a simple thing.
See, I don't. Are people? You're saying that in a general way, but I've found like the majority of people I interact with are very far from being cruel. I wouldn't say that's a normal state of being for people. Is being cruel.
Well, I'm saying the people who are doing this and attacking Sean Gordon Murphy are cruel.
There's someone else that can't say his fucking name.
Are they being, or is it being funded? Do you really think they're just, all of these people do this just for the sheer joy of doing it?
Yeah.
Or do you think that there's actually some deeper motivation there that might even be economic? I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit more than people just having fun on the old interweebs.
Okay. How is my failure going to benefit you?
These people are
because you're being funded to police and make examples out of people. So other creators don't try to go their own way. So other creators are like, we better toe the line and stay true to our overlords and not step out on our own and be authentic and say what we think. Actually, to me, it's entirely possible that that's
you're going
funded.
off the idea that you're sure that people are being paid to do this.
I'm not saying I'm sure. I'm saying it's a possibility.
It's possible, but more than likely, it's not likely. Nobody got paid to bully a girl into suicide who fucked all kinds of races.
I think it comes down to when people don't have anything in their lives themselves, they have to ruin whatever people have. They've got nothing going on. They're not happy, so they have to bring others down to their level to feel that superiority, to get some sort of joy out of life from it, in some sick, twisted kind of way.
You could be right. It could just be as simple as human behavior and the state of things as they are and people's state of mind. It could be nothing more than that, for sure.
These people that are attacking Scene, are they within? Is this coming from inside DC?
Are you asking if it is coming from inside DC?
Yeah. Is it coming from the industry? Is it coming from inside DC Comics?
Quite
well,
possible.
it does seem to me that, especially the other thing that was going on with it, when he just decided to do the Indiegogo instead of Kickstarter, right? It seems like there were people in the industry, quote unquote, kind of talentless hacks, but still in the industry, that were attacking him for just using Indiegogo, because it kind of signals toward ComicsGate, right? So I don't know if it's coming directly from DC, but certainly people in the industry,
So these are people who are not wanting an alternative industry to succeed because theirs will be wiped out very soon. Like it's already dying
Yeah.
on its arse.
Yes.
So is it an attempt then to try and?
That's what that's
You know
what
what I mean? Is it?
I guess kind of my point to the topic of the day is like, this feels like it could be a very kind of guided, directed attempt to make creators so fearful and kind of, make it such a scary thing to step out on your own and do something for fear of this exact thing happening, where they're going to try and
Repercussions.
publicly, so there's a motivation there, whether it's directly funded or it's just kind of a knee-jerk, let's protect this little pocket of what we have here under Marvel and DC and what have you. Like, either way, there's motivation there to do it, to keep creators under control that way. But again, if I feel like if Sean Gordon Murphy just completely said, okay, enough's enough, I see where this is going. I see that I can never please this group of people, this side of the fence. So I'm just going to fully embrace. I'm going to fully commit to doing my own thing. I think he could be just hugely successful if he just fully
just gotta
committed
grow
to
there.
that.
I think that's where he's
And
going.
maybe.
You
pretty
just
sure
gotta
that's
be
where
like,
he's going.
I'm going. I need money. I got kids to feed. I got bills to pay, bitches.
You think he'd get sick of this? Because this has been going on with him ever since the whole, right? Dirtworm Doug fucking.
Yeah.
Since the whole cover debacle with him and Doug to Naples. So they've been at him. And then it was what? Him working with Blake.
Northcott.
What's her name? Yeah.
Northcott.
So it's been like one thing after the other with this guy, and it doesn't matter how he apologizes, how he responds. They're not going to ease up on this dude until I don't know, like maybe you said, until they break him. I don't even know at this point. Like every step of the way, he does what they want. He apologizes, but he still has to endure this constant attack every time he does something. So you can't. This again, EVS has always been right about this. You can't ever apologize or give in to these demands.
Nope.
Or you are forever, it's over. You're done. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was sitting in the middle too long. He started to sway towards ComicsGate, and as soon as he did that, they erupted. And then since then, they've just been trying to pull him back, and it's getting worse for him. He's, like you said, he's got to draw a line in the sand. He's got to decide where he is, because he's never going to make them happy unless he falls completely 100% in line with everything they want him to.
Unless he turns into their gimp.
Well, I've heard that's a pretty popular thing at the moment, but
Yeah, it's going around. It's going
Yeah,
around.
I've only been around a couple of months, but bloody hell, I know some law.
All right, guys. Well, damn, this was a meandering, weird episode. That's mostly my fault. See if I'll correct that ship tomorrow. We'll get it back. Of course, when you come back, Captain Fuckhead, it'll be right back to Sean Gordon Murphy.
Yep, Sean Gordon Murphy. They fucked it up again. Stupid
So
fucking
Maybe
name.
you should do gin and tonic during the day, and then do your whiskey at night.
No, I do not drink gin and tonic.
No, for rotten.
God, Jesus Christ.
yeah, I don't do gin and tonic either. Well, I used to, but not these days.
no.
It's all whiskey for me now.
I am not a bored housewife. I don't need to. I was going to say something terrible there, but I won't. And drink gin and tonic.
yeah, careful, Cap.
Yep, careful, Cap. Yeah, that's I need that
Bundle of
button
sticks.
for my stream. Careful, Cap.
So, Mr. Fuckhead, please tell us what is going on with Fans Hour tonight.
Tonight we have Charlie's London. I've still not put a fucking tweet out yet, like a moron. Charlie's London, a man from Sweden called Dave Peel, I think his name is. And Mr. Fusilier Ben, who can't spell his own name. Fusebox, the creator and author of Outlaw Nights.
Nice.
And of course, I will open the chat up, or open the discussion up to the chat at some point by dropping the link in there. So if you've got a book you want to come and chill for, then you can come on and do so.
All right. And how many hours will Fans Hour be this time?
Probably around 1.5. I think that's what,
Okay.
that's what it got to last time.
I'll believe. Oh, really? You kept it? I guess you
last one was
did.
An hour and a half. Yeah.
All right.
So we managed to knock it down a little. It depends on whether I can get enough alcohol bags from the medical kit.
Well, don't cut it too short, because then the joke doesn't. It's of no use anymore.
I know. No, it is what it is, and it'll be what it is. And I think it'll be different each week. To be honest with you, I'm getting that kind of feeling. It's going to be one of those shows.
Sure.
It's going to be dependent on who's on, what mood you're in, whether how full my glass is, etc.
Hail.
Correct. So everybody, be sure to hit Captain Fuckhead's channel. The link for his YouTube is in the description below. It's always Fans Hour is a great show concept. I love it. So check that out. Gargoyle, you got anything for us?
Back foreign agent.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yep. Go back.
Can never say that enough.
Best comic.
Yeah, back, dude. The Atomic Deuce on Friday night. We were lucky enough to have Narwhal drop in, and he sang a little song called AIDS 2.
I seen that.
Very fun. I got to clip that shit out. That shit was fun. So I'd really like to have Narwhal on that show on a regular. I think it's a good fit for him because you can just do whatever you want. There's no rules.
Did he stream after that as well?
He might have.
I think
He did a late night.
Yeah, and then he went
nice.
to private again. Fucker. I hate it when he does that. I love Narwhal from streaming.
Yeah, and Vinny dropped in too. It was a really cool show. We had a good time.
It was a really great F Monday for you guys.
Yeah. Dave, you have anything you want to shout out or?
No, just thank you for having me on. And
Yeah.
anyone wants to follow me, Twitter, Bristolian Dave. That's out there.
Good. Cool, man. No,
yeah.
I was happy. It's always cool when somebody takes that leap and puts themselves out there. Good for you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. I will be streaming with Lucius on his channel later today, and possibly we'll be doing F Monday on Eekspot's channel. That's not confirmed yet, but it could be happening, and that's always a really good time. Thank you, chat, for being here. Always appreciated, and we will see you tomorrow.
Hail.